What's up, everybody? It's Brandon from Box Office Banner Cult Flick Symposium, and I just watched another Netflix original movie. And you know, those can be a bit hit and missy, if you will. Yeah. How would this one turn out? Like, share, subscribe, comment. That's the biggest thing. If you like this content, I'll tell you this much. What I did not like was this movie, and that movie is Heart of Stone. I might be too hard on this film. I don't know how long this review is going to be. I don't want to rip it a new fucking asshole. I will say this much. It's not a terrible, god awful movie. There's nothing glaringly bad. But this movie is the definition for, I think, a lot of people, but even more so like me. Maybe this is like my finish line where I'm just like, God damn it, guys. Can we just get some better material? Yeah, it's not down here, but it's not up here, and it's not even here. It's like, why are we consistently with action movies just hovering around? That might be just good enough. This is standard fare anymore, and I'm so tired of it. I have such fatigue for action movies. This movie, in a nutshell, the best way I can describe it is the same generic action movie I feel like I see year in and year out that I don't even want to bother with half the time, but I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I'll be proven wrong, and every once in a while I am. Very rarely. And it could be a review for the channel. And, it's easy access. I got Netflix, so it's like, I just fire the motherfucker up real quick. I was working out, and I was like, you know what? We'll just throw this on too. And it was what I was afraid of. It was that movie that you've seen in countless other movies that a lot have done better with. All the action was, well, what I just said. Nothing stood out. All the action looked very fake. There was a constant presence of things that would happen within the action scenes, whether there be CGI or whatever you want to, call any of it, just stuff within the action scenes that took me out of the movie, and not in a fun way, but in a just like, okay, not feeling this type of way. Gal Gadot, I don't see what I seem to be seeing a lot of people seeing in this girl. There's nothing overly wrong with her, but she is yet, even in the Wonder Woman movies, has yet to really, she fits the role with that. She looks good in the suit and she can kick ass, but she doesn't have that presence. She doesn't have that it factor. She does not do anything for me aside from looking easy on the eyes. I don't know why it seems that some people can almost just joust her up the totem pole of badass action chicks. Maybe that's because we are so low on them. We don't even have badass action dudes right now, if we're being honest, for the most part. Not many, at least, outside of, superhero shit. But who wants to limit your action, in appeasement, enjoyment to just superhero people, and then they got to come over in these action movies? I miss the old days where we had action stars that were bona fide, not superheroes, outside of maybe Stallone doing Judge Dredd, something close like that. They just were badass action stars. And we don't have that. So maybe Gal Gadot gets a little bit of a bump for that reason, but when I'm watching her, I'm just like, it's just not it, And this is a lot of personal preference in this part of the review. I love that old school action. There wasn't a lot going on. Now it feels like they gotta shove everything into the movie. This movie was convoluted as shit. That's another thing that I did not enjoy about it. But it just give the motherfucker, talking about old school action stars, the Van Dammes of the world, Stallone, Schwarzenegger. You don't need to make some elaborate crazy plot. Give me the person that has the it factor, and let me just watch them wreak havoc. It doesn't need to be crazy like this. Now I get it. It's like a spy movie, and that's what they're going for here. Understandable, but in general, it's like they try to do too much. I miss the more bare bones action approach. And in this movie, Gal Gadot does not save that for me. And it feels like anything she does, just I'm waiting to be in awe, and I just never am. I'm not trying to pile on her, but I just am not a big fan of her. And let's talk about everybody else in the movie. I don't remember a soul. Just don't care. It's a bunch of action scenes, but because everything else feels so empty, you don't give a shit about them. Quite frankly, is basically in a nutshell also this movie. Apart from being just completely generic, even the music is generic. The soundtrack, in terms of like, actual recording artists, musicians, that sing songs you'd hear on the radio, type of songs, actual songs. Like, though that shit isn't bad in this movie, but the recording studio, let's play this theme right here to make the action intensify type of music, very bland. It's very like almost like you can feel them, behind me, like this is gonna ramp this up, and you're just like, ugh, like it's so generic too. It's just not well done. And there's even one theme like in the beginning of the movie, like that initial before like the title screen hits, when Gal Gadot, I can't remember what the fuck she was doing. She was just going down like this mountain. I don't want to give away too much. Just say that she has this music playing, and it actually almost sounds Mission Impossible-ish, because that's kind of what this movie feels like. It's like a terrible, like female retread with like little bitty nuances of Mission Impossible, and it just does not work. And that is the overarching theme here, is that it doesn't work. And as much as it sounds like I'm beating this movie up, I don't think it is a travesty. It's just a bunch of shit that isn't quite good enough compiled into a film, and us as viewers, I guess, are just supposed to be like, okay, yeah, this was, that was all right. But eventually, if you're just like, man, that was all right, that was all right, that was all right, that's what and that was all right. I don't want to say that after every fucking action movie I see. Like, do better. Extraction 2. That was pretty good. We at least got that from Netflix. There's interesting things going on here. There's a scene, perfect example. Like, take it, like overseas with it, like The Roundup with Don Lee. If y'all haven't seen this movie, there's a scene. It's like a kitchen fight. People have meat cleavers. People are getting hit. It's fucking intense as shit. Edge of your seat. Just like, damn, this is how it's done. There's a similar scene in this movie where they're fighting in what looks to be like the same type of environment, and you're just like, I could give a fuck. And it's so dull. And it's the same, like quick cut fighting. Let's mask that our people on screen are not good enough to do this, and or they are, and you're a director and you're from Hollywood, and you're like, no, this is how, let me be ignorant, this is how you do this. It just, that type of framing and shooting style that we do in America. And then you watch a movie like The Roundup, same similar type of scene, and it's just like, that just came out last year, and you're just like, wow, this is how it's done. Holy shit. Just really letting me down with these type of action movies lately, and I'm tired of just being like, you know what, it was okay. Because you know what? It was okay. It was average. But for that reason, and me just being over this type of fucking film, I can't keep copping out with like the 5 out of 10. This movie is bottom tier of the year to me. There's nothing terrible, but there's literally nothing I can walk away with and grasp onto like, oh man, that was dumb. Nothing. Just nothing to give me. Heart of Stone is a 3 out of 10 for me. Not a good flick by any means. Check it out though. If this is your bag, it's like, oh, well, if I like terrible movies, no. Like some people, just the quick car chases and shoot them up. Sometimes that's good enough. I have movies in other genres that you could be like, what? Like that's good enough for you? That's objectively terrible. It's like, yeah, but I eat it up. You know what I mean? So maybe you might like it. This is not a diss saying like I'm holier than thou. Even the same fucking genre. You can look at the Van Damme movies of the world, some of the Stallone movies of the world, where you're just like, this is subjectively not a good movie, but I like it. Okay? So I'm not dissing you. I'm saying you might legitimately like this movie even though it isn't my cup of tea. But for me, the style they're going with lately with action movies post 2000s, it fits right in, and I'm more done with it than I was 10 years ago. Let's just say that. Heart of Stone, not my cup of tea. Let me know if you liked it, though. I obviously did not enjoy it, and love you guys. I will be back with another review soon-ish, maybe tomorrow. I'm going to watch, I think, Vacation Friends 2 soon. I have not heard good things, but I did, however, really like the first one. Thought it was pretty funny. John Cena's pretty good when he doesn't take himself seriously. So I will definitely be checking that out, and hopefully I'll be back with that. And then I got I got to do Equalizer 3. Maybe there's a little bit more coming up than I thought there was. But I love you guys. Have a good one. Peace.